Bust the flow.
Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this afternoon, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my Mario brother, my brother Alex. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Feeling super.
I love that shirt.
You like it, man?
Yeah.
You don't know nothing about Super Mario, bro.
No, I don't know anything. I'm not a. You know me. I'm not.
You know what? I'm gonna buy you a Nintendo Switch for Christmas.
Okay.
I guess I just spoiled it. It's got all these retro games for Nintendo, and you can play you some Super Mario, and then we can relate.
I'll play none of them.
You probably won't.
I'm just not a video. I've never, even when I was a kid, I didn't like.
How could you not like video games?
Because
especially being a sports fanatic.
Yeah, I just never got into it. I guess I didn't have enough friends with video games. All my friends played outside, and I just.
Yeah, I did both. I was a homebody.
Who played outside?
So I used to sit in the room, close the door, and then turn on the video games.
Yeah.
Shut the volume on the video game and just play,
music.
Some Wu-Tang Clan or something.
Wu-Tang Clan. Whatever happened to them?
I don't know. They're still making music, but very slowly.
So, hey, it's been a slow sports week.
You don't say.
So, it's perfect timing for you to go out of town.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your misadventures. Your adventures.
Man, well, it was a misadventure because I was with the missus.
Oh, okay.
So I
missed all the adventures.
I was a good boy. On my P's and Q's. It was great. I got to go see. So my daughter was based out in Chicago. Doing boot camp for the Navy. And so she did that for 8 weeks. And this weekend she graduated from boot camp. And she's moving along, another chapter along in her life, man.
Naval career.
Yeah. So, but Chicago was awesome. Now, if you don't know, I am from New York, and Chicago reminded me so much of New York. So,
but not quite.
Not quite. But a lot of things to do, man.
Oh yeah, it's a great town.
Look, the Bean. I was like a little kid, taking selfies and looking at myself through the Bean. That was awesome. That's a big ass bean, bro.
The Bean is pretty cool.
It is. I'm surprised Boston didn't come up with this first, right? They are Beantown.
Yeah, how did they not get the Bean?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I don't know. That is awesome. If you guys got a chance to go to Chicago, go check it out. Millennium Park, the Bean.
Yeah, Chicago's pretty cool. I like Chicago. Did you get any pizza? Deep dish.
Fuck yeah.
Good stuff, huh?
Giordano's. Listen, I burnt the top of my mouth, but it was so worth it. It was so worth it, bro. And I'm not a big deep dish kind of guy. Well, for one, we don't have that in New York. We don't have it here in Texas. So
you can get deep dish in New York. That's what Sicilians are.
Yeah, no.
It's not as deep, but it's
not as deep. This is deep.
This is like a loaf of bread with some sauce on top.
This is balls deep. Listen, you're gonna catch a heart attack with all this cheese. So I never liked the idea of eating pizza with a fork and knife. You kind of have to the first few bites, but holy schmoly, guacamole! This was good, bro. This was the bomb diggity.
I love deep dish in Chicago.
It was pretty good. We did the river, City River. It takes you from Michigan Avenue, which you take Michigan Avenue to the Bean. It takes you from Michigan Avenue to Chinatown. And Chinatown was awesome, dude. Because,
Chinese?
Yes, Chinese. How'd you know?
Just a wild guess.
Yo, I felt like I never been to Chinatown, but it felt so Chinatown-ish.
You've been to Chinatown in New York.
Yeah, I have, but this one was more
Chinese.
You know what I didn't see? I didn't see no fish markets. In New York, you see the fish market. Here, I really didn't see any, but it was very Chinese themed.
Well, it's Chinatown, bro.
Yeah, I know, but in New York, it doesn't look like even the houses, bro, or the apartments. I don't know what they were.
It's really Chinese. I tell you what, we went to Chinatown in San Francisco. They had fish markets. They had fish markets everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're slinging fish back and forth. I mean, it smells
Like fish?
Fishy.
Something fishy's going on.
I was like, oh my goodness. San Francisco's Chinatown was really good.
Was it?
That might be the best one.
Yeah, I haven't been there. But I would definitely go back to Chicago, bro.
Chicago's a lot of fun. I like Chicago.
That was fun.
I've been like 2 or 3 times, and I really like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah, it's got that big city feel, obviously.
It does.
It's a big city, right? But
I seen graffiti, bro. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, we don't see a whole lot of graffiti here.
Downtown you do. Downtown Houston, there's plenty of graffiti there.
For a downtown, not that much.
No, but in Chicago, oh yeah. It was pretty cool, man. We had a good time.
Well, good.
It was nice. I probably ate. I bought Dunkin' Donuts, and listen, Dunkin' Donuts, hear me out. Hear us out. Contact the Positive Sports Podcast.
How can they do that?
How can they do that? I'll tell you. positivesports10@gmail.com. That's positivesports10@gmail.com. Hit us up because aside from buying Dunkin' Donuts here in Houston, I was there for 3 days and I probably bought Dunkin' Donuts 7 times. I mean, ridiculous. Not to mention all the bags of Dunkin' Donuts I have at the house so I can brew myself every morning. Get at us. We need a sponsor.
I love Dunkin' Donuts.
It's the best.
I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts when I was in high school.
Bro, America.
I used to make the donuts. I started off at the cash register.
Yeah.
Met this fly young lady who I became very good friends with. Maybe even a little more than friends.
Like the flying crate?
No, not that. That's a different story. I'm talking about legit. Like I got a girlfriend out of the deal.
Oh man.
The flying crate is a different story. We'll have to go back to that one. But, so I started working there. I want to say I started working there in like October. I had this honey wrapped up by the end of the month, right?
Damn.
She was cute, small, little itty bitty thing. And by Christmas time, I had gotten promoted to making the donuts, which it was a promotion, but kind of not, right? Because now all of a sudden my only shift was at like 3:30 in the morning, which is a beast, man. And I was like, I didn't have a mustache back then because I was 16, although I probably could have grown one. But I was like the guy in the commercial, time to make the donuts. But I love that job.
Well, I imagine that was now work, right? Because working at the cash register, that's just
well, I mean, you gotta make coffee and stuff. You gotta make it right.
Okay.
Light and sweet, dark no sugar, black no sugar. I mean, you gotta do something. You gotta get the donuts, put them in a bag.
Sounds like the donuts were more. Making the donuts was more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How they get the jelly in those things is phenomenal.
You know.
It was hilarious. It was so much fun.
You hold a donut and someone has the bag of jelly and squeezes it.
No, it's this big machine and it's got 2 nozzles sticking out. You do 2 donuts at a time, bro.
Whoa.
And you just jam the donut in there, and when you jam it in, you push the little lever on the bottom and it shoots out jelly. Damn. Sometimes I wanted to see how much jelly a donut could hold.
Did you ever blow up the donut?
Yeah, it comes shooting out the other end. Like, well, that's too much jelly. That donut's no good. I'm going to have to just eat this one.
I wonder how many donuts at a time you can do now, right?
I'm surprised I didn't put on like 100 pounds at Dunkin' Donuts.
No, but you have now.
Since then, probably, yeah. Yeah, probably. Well, so...
Alright, so
maybe we should talk about sports.
We're going to do this. I'm gonna rattle off a couple things that happened this week. See if you've seen them and just get a quick reaction out of you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
fuck it, this is like evening at the Improv. What the?
That's it. That's all we're gonna do.
Do I have to crack a joke at the end?
If you want, if you're witty like that, I dare you.
Don't expect any jokes, folks. This is gonna be a quick segment.
Yeah, it's hey, we'll make something out of something.
That's right. Something out of. To make chicken soup out of chicken shit?
Yeah. That might taste good.
I doubt it. All right, fire away.
All right. Homer Bailey was pitching this past week. Homer Bailey for the Cincinnati Reds. Mm-hmm. He was in the windup.
Right.
Okay, and he was in the windup. He was gonna pitch. He was ready to pitch. He got the leg kick up.
Right.
Okay, and he went. He reached back and he went to throw the ball, and he threw nothing. The ball was still in the glove. Did you see that?
No, I did not. Is that technically a ball?
How do you forget the ball?
If Homer Bailey's pitching, I'm guessing at this point it's one of these blowout games, and they got a position player pitching, right?
I don't know at what point the game was in, but how do you forget the ball?
Look, I can see that happening. The level of concentration drops off dramatically once you're down like 10 runs.
True.
Look at what happened to the Phillies.
Oh, man.
They lost 24-4, right? To the Mets. The Mets hadn't scored 24 runs in their previous 24 games combined.
Or years.
No, they scored some runs over the years.
So
24. So, look, I think, A, it's a ball, and B, I can understand it. It's hard to concentrate. Have you ever been to a Little League game and watch it get out of hand? It's hard to concentrate.
You're a major league pitcher. You don't forget.
Technically, he's not.
Well,
Homer Bailey's not a pitcher, right?
He's a pitcher.
Oh,
he's a pitcher, yes.
Okay, he's an idiot then. There's no.
He's a starting pitcher.
Is he really? I thought
Yeah,
he was, Who
no.
am I thinking about on the
I
Reds?
don't know. Bailey?
Scooter?
Okay,
there's no excuse for him.
No, there's no excuse.
I take it all back.
I laughed. You got to see that clip. Go check out that clip, fellas. That was hilarious.
That's
I just don't
priceless.
know how that happens. All right, I got one more for you. The Clippers fired team analyst Bruce Bowen after his comments of Kawhi Leonard. Just saying,
Hey,
what does that mean?
that is not a laughing matter. That is a good move by the Clippers.
Why?
Because in today's age of prima donna basketball players, they had to show that they're 100% after Leonard and they want him to come join them. So I think that move was made with free agency in mind. The Clippers have done nothing in the last 2 years to help that team. They've let it slowly fall apart. They've cleared a bunch of cap space. They're looking to make moves in free agency 2019, and I think that move was just that. It was another move towards 2019. That was part of their courtship of Kawhi Leonard. I think that's a good move. I think it's chicken shit. You shouldn't do that. Bruce Bowen is an excellent analyst, and I think it's a crappy way to be. But in today's NBA, you gotta make nice to the prima donnas. I think it's a good move by them because they're obviously pointing towards free agency. That's what that move is all about. As terrible as I think it is.
I think it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I mean, that reason alone is why he will not go to New York, Philadelphia, Boston.
Exactly.
4 letters. Soft.
Mm-hmm. He should have stayed in San Antonio. He was playing for the best coach on the planet in a middle market with a top-notch organization. That is a perfect environment for him and any other basketball player not named Boogie Cousins. You know what I mean? I mean, it was an excellent, excellent environment for him, and I think it was absolutely wrong of him to leave. But whatever.
Well, we'll see if
his loss is DeMar DeRozan's gain.
That's right.
I think DeRozan's going to flourish with the Spurs.
Chess, not
checkers.
That's it. We got it, bro. As long as you're playing that in life, you're going to come out on top.
That's right. Just wanted to point out one thing.
What's that?
I want people to contact me, so I'm going to give them my contact information since you only gave out the show. You can reach me at eMontana21. If you want to talk to this guy, I have no idea what's going on with him. Sounds like he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's all sensitive or whatever. Hey, man, you can contact me on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho. Hey, man, we're doing a show. What? Turn the phone off. People are contacting me already. I didn't even have to give off. See how much people love me more than you? Just like Mom. People are contacting me before I even gave out their my contact. That was, it was Mom. Uh-oh. Let's see what it says. Hold on. Mom contacted the show. Hold on. Hi, son. I hope you had a safe flight. Just letting you know I love you more than any other son I ever had. Any others? You make it sound like Mom was a tramp. She had like 10 sons out there. Well, no, I'm sure she had one more. Just one. The one and only. Ah, good grief. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it. What are we getting into? A whole lot of trouble. Whatever you want, bro. All right, let's start off. Well, since preseason started, I think the NFL has been catching a lot of heat these first 2 weeks. Yeah. Right? NFL rule change. Oh, okay, good.
Right? Patty cake.
I thought you were going to talk about the national anthem. I'm glad you said rule
Well,
change.
we can talk about that too, but I want
Let's start with this one.
I want to start with the rule change because I never played football. I never played Little League, Pee Wee League, whatever, football. I've never put on a helmet and pads and cleats. I never played. But from watching football and knowing a few people that have played football, it seems to me that the NFL is making it totally difficult for the players and the referees to play and ref this game.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they're supposed to now tackle. It's like it's almost like if you can't. So the rule is if you lead with your head, right? If you put your head down and you lead with your head, it's an automatic flag. No matter if the guy that lowers his head hits you straight center on your chest.
Yeah.
It almost seems like you have to hug.
Right. You gotta walk up to him and hug.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good rule change, and I'll tell you why. Think about last year's playoffs.
This better be good because I don't see anything good in this.
No, this is good. If they had this rule in place last year, the Saints would have made it to the Super Bowl. Because that guy would have went up and hugged that receiver from the Vikings.
Oh, on Diggs.
Inbounds, and the Saints would have won that game. They would have beat Philly. They'd have gone on to the Super Bowl.
That's right, because he looked.
He dropped his head and missed everything.
Everything, including the air.
Anyway, so back to the rule change. Look, I think it is getting more and more difficult to play defense. Part of it is just the evolution of the game. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to avoid the concussions and the head injuries as much as possible. And I agree with you that this is going too far. But it's good that we're seeing the problems in the preseason so that we can get to a better understanding by the time the season starts. Is it the best way to play football? Look, I don't think so, but it's not my product to say, right? It's the NFL's product. It is going to make it very hard for defenses to tackle.
Yes.
It's going to make it very hard. Back in the day, cornerbacks, safeties, they were taught, even linebackers were taught to separate players from the football when they were catching the ball. Obviously, you can't do that anymore.
No.
You got to get your hands in. You got to be more precise with your contact, and you got to make sure you tackle. And I guess I don't have that much of a problem with it simply because it's the same rule for everyone, right? Everyone's going to have to play with these ticky-tack rules that they're employing. If the referees call it consistently, I'm not going to have a problem with it. If they swallow their whistles with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and don't tell anybody, I'm going to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm really going to have a problem.
And they've been inconsistent, right, with the whole replay deal. It's just been inconsistency. So you don't know what you're going to get.
And I'm hoping that gets worked out during the preseason.
Man, I'm not holding my hopes up too high for that. They haven't. I mean, it's taken them so long. I'll tell you what, man. I mean, this is just going to help out the offenses even more. I mean, get ready to see high scoring games.
Yeah. Well, but that's good for the NFL. That's good. Look, as much as we hate it, no one ever says this, but this is the God's honest truth. More yards, more touchdowns, more scoring is good for the NFL. Why? Because it's good for fantasy football.
Yeah.
And if it's good for fantasy football, it's good for the NFL because people watch it for that. More people get involved. And how many fantasy football teams are you going to be in this year?
I'm already in one.
Yeah.
I plan on being maybe one more, maybe two, definitely one more.
Wow.
So I'm gonna roll two. But that's an excellent point because fantasy football, DraftKings, and all these other fantasy
all the
games.
gambling aspect of
exactly. Yeah.
People love it. People absolutely love it.
So
long as the refs call it consistently, I'm not gonna have a problem with it. I don't like that it's making the game a little bit soft, but at the same time, it's not my game.
I think for the first 3 to 6 weeks, I figured out my betting strategy. I figured it out, bro. I figured it out, and that is to take the over on every game.
That makes sense. That makes sense because there's going to be 15-yard penalties coming out the yin yang.
Yes.
How are we going to make a wager on the football season? Because we did, as much as we've talked about the NBA and MLB, we didn't make any wagers.
We did not.
Any fantasy type wagers. I feel like we should come up with a wager for football.
Okay, so I don't have one off the top of my head.
Hey, I just thought of this.
Okay.
This just literally just popped into my head.
Freestyling, my man.
Yes,
I like that.
Absolutely.
Without a mic.
We draft all 32 teams, 16 apiece.
Okay.
Whoever has the most wins. How fucking cool
We can do that.
How cool is that?
We can do that. I'll probably win, but we can do that.
Come on, bro. You're not going to win.
I say, okay, how about this? The fans, you guys got our contact information. If you got any suggestions for any wagers that my brother and I, that Ed and Alex, should do for the upcoming football season, let us know. Tweet at us. Send us an email, positivesports10@gmail.com. And we'll pick the best one and we'll do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. If not, I say we do the draft, the 32 team draft.
Okay. Well,
we'll flip a coin as to who goes first.
Okay.
Right, and then we'll do a snake draft. So I pick one, you pick two, I pick two, and so on and so on and so on.
Which I think we'll be having a NFL preview show pretty soon. I'm just kind of like psychic. I'm guessing we will.
I don't see why not.
And we'll do it then.
Okay.
Or if you want to do it today or later on or whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever's clever.
I don't know. Maybe we should probably do it before. I'll tell you what, we should do it before the preview show.
Okay.
Because in the preview show, we're going to spell out some of our thoughts.
Right.
It might influence the pickage.
Okay. The pickage. Is that a word? Pickage.
It's the word today.
It's the pickage. Yeah, it's the word of the day.
The word of the day. So yeah, that sounds good. Look, again, back to the rule change. Obviously, that's the most significant talk of the new season, aside from the actual wins and losses. The outside story is the rule change. I just hope they call it consistently.
Do you, as a football fan, have a problem with the anthem? Well, I would like to touch on that just a little bit. Now, you don't have to dive in too deep.
This is a terrible topic because I think...
But I think it's worth bringing up.
No, I agree with you. But I guess the reason I think it's a terrible topic is because I think it's working exactly the way this country is intended to work.
Right.
So we have people that have chosen a platform that is not specifically banned by their employer to do a peaceful protest, right? Be it kneeling, sitting, holding their fist in the air, locking themselves arm in arm, whatever their motive. It is a peaceful protest.
Absolutely.
They have chosen that. In response, a large number of people have decided that is offensive to them and specifically to our military. And they have chosen to not watch the NFL and not support some of the sponsors of the NFL. Right? We've heard about Papa John's and whatnot. To me, regardless of what my thought is on whether they should do it or not, this is exactly the way America works. You have the freedom to kneel or raise a fist or whatever. You have the right to do a peaceful protest. I then, in turn, have a right to spend my dollars in a different manner because I am offended by you.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that I am. I'm not saying what my position is one way or another. But the fact that there's a large swath of people that have decided that this is offensive and they're not going to watch the NFL and they're not going to support Papa John's Pizza and they're not going to do this and they're not going to do that, that is exactly the way it should work in this country. That's what capitalism is. You have the freedom to do... Look, we have the freedom to do this podcast. And every sponsor I've reached out to has had the freedom to say, hell no. Right? We have the freedom to do this, and people have the freedom to watch it and to not watch it and to make comments and to not make comments. That's the way this country works. And oh, by the way, the one person who started this and was willing to bear the brunt of it and is willing to put his dollars behind this cause, because Colin Kaepernick has given a lot of money to a lot of different causes to support equality in different neighborhoods. He's paying the price for it. And that's exactly the way it should work. And he's not complaining. He's not, you don't see him on the mic every day complaining about how America has wronged him. No. He is continuing to support the causes that he feels strongly about. And he feels strongly enough about them that he's willing to pass on a lucrative career in the NFL. Okay. So to me, all of this anthem talk is a bunch of bluster about nothing. Because at the end of the day, the people that are protesting, they're not bad-mouthing the military. And the people that are complaining about feeling offended for the military, they're making it about them. They're not they don't care about what these players are actually saying. And at the end of the day, it's all balancing out exactly the way it should. The NFL is suffering in ratings because they won't deal with the situation. The players are suffering because now they're missing out on sponsorship dollars because of it. It's working exactly the way it should work. And as much as I don't like all of the anthem ga, it's working. So I really don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's well said, man. If I had a mic, I'll give it to you so you can drop it. But I don't have a problem with it either. And what does bother me is the people that are saying, I'm not going to watch on Sundays. I think they're full of baloney. I really do think they're full of it. They're still going to watch.
I think there is a lot of people. I think there's a lot of bluster that is just that. It's bluster.
Yes.
It's words spoken on air, not in action.
Right. Exactly. Because people are afraid to take action, and these players, they're taking action. They have the courage to do so.
I'll tell you what. If as many people turned off the NFL on Sunday as they're saying, the owners would change some shit like that.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, the ratings are not dropping by the amount of vitriol that we're hearing on Twitter and Instagram and ESPN and all this other stuff. So it's all bluster at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll tell you who I do have a problem with. I have a problem with ESPN. ESPN for the last 2 years has been spouting off a tracker every Tuesday morning of who's kneeling and who's not kneeling. By team. They've been posting it on their website every single Tuesday morning. Who sat and who didn't, or who knelt, or whatever they're calling it.
Right.
And now they're deciding not to show the national anthem on TV. Hey, ESPN, if you want to clickbait people by putting out the negative of what the players are doing, then be man enough to put the national anthem on TV and don't change your policy just because you might get some backlash. You got all of the benefit from all of the clickbait of naming names. Don't be a wuss now and take the national anthem off TV. Do it the way you've always done it. Have the guts.
What's sad about that, I didn't know that. What's sad about that is that they're not going to show the anthem, but I bet they're still going to call out names.
Dude, if they have that list, and the list was team by team.
Really? I never seen that.
You got to scroll down a little bit, but it was there every Tuesday morning. Who sat in week 7 or whatever it was called? If they have that list after they take the national anthem off, man, I'm gonna be unhappy.
Like bar unhappy?
Ooh. Almost. Damn. Yeah, because I think it's chicken shit.
No, yeah.
I think you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Well, ESPN, they've been...
I love ESPN.
They have nothing better to talk about.
I love ESPN. I love all the shows on ESPN. They give us stuff to talk about. They piss me off. They make me happy. I love ESPN. But when they're wrong, they're wrong. And on this one, they are flat out wrong.
Can't say I disagree. I wish I could.
Here's what else I think is wrong. I think it's wrong that there's only a race in the National League. There's no races in the American League.
Bro.
I mean, the West, yeah, I guess, Houston and Oakland are tied going into today, which I can't believe the A's.
When
the A's are playing unbelievable baseball.
Last week when we did our podcast, the A's were like 5 games behind.
Oh, yeah.
4 or 5.
I think it was, I want to say 3.5.
Was it 3.5? Okay, it was still 3.5. I mean, the Astros went into Oakland, Ricky Henderson Field, and got swept.
Hold on. Before we get into serious baseball talk, is there a guy in the MLB, in the history of baseball, that's got better stories about him than Ricky Henderson?
Maybe all of sports.
Oh, my God. My favorite Ricky Henderson story.
Which one?
This is my favorite. I'm going to tell it real quick because I love this story. I can't get enough of it. Ricky Henderson comes up to bat. He's facing a rookie pitcher who he's never seen before. And, of course, Ricky did zero homework because Ricky thought a lot of himself.
Ricky being Ricky.
Right. He walked in there, first pitch, fastball, strike. And he talked to it. He was famous for talking to himself. And he goes, all right, Ricky. All right, you see what he got, Ricky. All right, Ricky. Come on now, Ricky. Next pitch, he throws him a curveball. Strike 2. All right, Ricky. Now, you see the off-speed stuff now. That's all right, Ricky. Come on now. We got to hit it now. We got to hit it now. Next pitch, he throws him a fastball. He swings and misses. Ricky, kind of pulls his bat back, grabs it by the barrel, and goes, that's all right, Ricky. You're still good. He walks off. Oh, I love the Ricky Henderson stories.
That sounds just like Ricky.
That is Ricky being Ricky.
He was a hell of a baseball player.
He
man.
was.
For a leadoff guy?
He was awesome. And quite a character. Anyway, back to the A's.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they caught the Astros. The Astros, I mean, it's got to be a little nervous, bro. They got back Altuve and Correa, but they're still missing McCullers and Springer.
Yes.
And
I think things will turn around for them. Again, they've got too much pitching. I still think it would be a shame for them to not win the division because I don't want to see them going to a one-game playoff against the Yankees. Because I don't want to lose one of those teams. I hate to say this, and A's fans are going to kill me, but I would rather lose the A's in the playoffs because I still want to see Houston, Cleveland, Boston, and the Yankees in that Final Four.
Oakland always makes these runs at the end of the season. It doesn't happen every season, but it happens
frequently enough.
Frequently that they just go on these runs, and I mean, name a player on their team. I mean, I know they're hitting a bunch of home runs. Chris Davis
with a K.
Familia.
Oh, that's right. They got Familia.
Fernando Rodney. Damn, we just named 4.
They loaded up that bullpen with old guys, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 closers.
But it's working.
So I don't understand how they do it, man. Like when they had that great pitching staff, you had Hudson and Zito and Mark Mulder. I mean, they didn't win then, but they still went on these runs. I don't know, man. I mean, for the Astros, this has to be... They're looking over their shoulders now. But yeah,
they're in a dead heat right now. The Astros are 3-7 over their last 10. The A's are 7-3 over their last. So 4 games they've picked up over their last 10. Look, I can't believe that the A's are going to keep up this torrid pace. And quite frankly, the Astros are better than they've been playing over the last 20, 30 games. So I still expect the Astros to win the division, but it's pretty much over in the American League. I mean, the wild card's done too because.
It's the Yankees and the Astros in the wild card right now.
Right, and Seattle's 3.5 behind them. So it looks like it's done in the American League.
Well, I don't think that's fair to say.
You think
in regards to the Mariners and the A's, because we thought that it was done maybe 3 weeks ago. We already knew what 4 teams were gonna be in it. We didn't imagine.
But those 4 teams are in it.
Yeah,
I've said all along the 5th team is the one that is a roll of the dice, and now it looks like very clearly the A's are taking that 5th spot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we thought for sure.
I don't think the Mariners are going to come back.
Maybe not, but we didn't think that the A's would either, and they have. They've been on a freaking tear, man.
Look, the only thing that's going to happen if the Mariners get on a tear is the A's are going to fall out and the Astros are going to end up making the playoffs. And I still think the top four are the top four.
I don't know, man.
Yes, I'm sticking to those early preseason predictions.
The Yankees have I don't know, man. But in the National League,
man, the National League looks like fun.
So I guess the other team that kind of is very similar to what the A's do every once in a while, but kind of more often, are the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh man, are they hot?
They came out of nowhere. They've all of a sudden bumped the Brewers back
in the Central. Yeah. Chicago looks like they're now firmly in control of the Central. They're 4 games up with 40 to play. Certainly it's not over, but 4 games is a lot to make up. And the Cubs are playing good baseball. The Cardinals are playing great baseball over the last 20. But the thing that's going to be interesting now is the wild card. The wild card is, you've got division races and wild card races going on simultaneously. So even though the Central looks like it's pretty much done, you got the Braves and the Phillies tied in the East. The Nationals seem to have slipped off a little bit. And then out west, you've got the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. Although the Dodgers, I thought, have slipped back as well a little bit.
They have.
No,
in the wild cards they have.
It's the D-backs and the Rockies are tied.
Holy cow.
With the Dodgers 2 back, and the Giants are the ones that seem to have dropped off. They made that swing over here on the East Coast, and that's tough for teams like that. So then you go to the wild card, and of course you've got the loser of Atlanta, Philadelphia, and the loser of Arizona, Colorado. So as it stands right now, there is no wild card. It's teams that are tied for the division lead,
right?
And there's 4 teams tied for 2 division leads, and then the Cubs. So that's your 5. So, but then you've got all these other teams. The Cardinals half a game out of whatever falls out in front of them. The Dodgers 2 games out of whatever falls out in front of them. It's a dicey situation.
So basically, you have to win the division.
Yeah, I mean, and quite frankly, you can't. Most years, it's just 2 or 3 teams, and you're watching the scoreboard a lot to see how they're doing.
Right.
You can't watch the scoreboard this year in the National League.
It's about
you got to win.
It's
just plain and simple. You got to win.
It's like 3/4 of the National League.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to win, and it's going to be. The month of September is going to be super exciting in the National League.
The team that hasn't made that surge that we thought they might have right after the All-Star break has been the Nationals.
Right.
They can't seem to catch up, and I think at this point,
I think
it's pretty much they're pretty much done. You got the fork in there, the knife will be cutting pretty soon.
I'm not. Man, I wish someone could explain to me what's going on with all that talent.
We'll find out soon enough. So, I mean, the National League is really interesting. I didn't think it would be this close. All
right. Call your shot. Which 5 teams make the playoffs? Start with division winners.
Man.
Who's going to win the divisions?
I think Arizona's going to win the West. Chicago will win the Central, and I'm going to say the Braves win the East. Only because I don't trust Gabe Kapler coaching the Phillies. I just don't. I feel like he's done it all year long. He took a bashing early on for taking his starters out early, and he's still doing it.
And he's got some good starters.
He's got very good starters. He's got a Cy Young caliber starter, Aaron Nola. Jake Arrieta has played great.
Has pitched very well lately.
Velasquez, I mean,
he's got guys that can go 7 innings.
Yeah, easily. So I that's the only really reason why I don't think.
I agree with you, except for one. You're gonna kill me for this. I still think the Dodgers can do it in the West.
You are out of your mind.
I just don't.
It's just not the same team, bro.
I just don't. Yeah, and
it's always one of the two, and that's between the Astros and the Dodgers. That's
more often than not, it's the team that lost the World Series, not the team that won the World Series. But I still have faith in that roster. I still think that pound for pound, they are a better team than the other two. Pound for pound.
Well, I don't know, man.
Your wild cards.
Shit, this is tough. I'm gonna pick. What? I pick two wild cards.
Yeah.
I'll pick the Phillies and the Rockies.
I pick Arizona and St. Louis.
You think St. Louis?
I think St. Louis is going to keep doing it, and I told our cousin this the other day. I did a bunch of projections, a bunch of analytics. I don't have the Phillies making it.
They're gonna barely make it.
Well, yeah,
barely.
Whoever makes the wild card is barely going to make it. It's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to the final weekend of the season, which is going to be great to watch.
That'll be awesome.
I can't wait. Speaking of which, hold on. Let's see, just out of morbid curiosity, let's see who's playing who the final weekend of the season.
Well, the Cubs are going to be playing the Cardinals. I just checked. So
the Mets and the Marlins.
Ooh.
Super exciting.
5th place.
Yankees and Red Sox. Who cares? Braves and Phillies.
Really?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Astros and Orioles. That's the end of the A's right there. Dodgers and Giants. The Giants will be out of it, but the Giants will be playing tough.
Yeah.
The A's will be playing the Angels. The D-backs have the Padres. White Sox, Twins, Tigers, Brewers. The Brewers will have a shot. Pirates, Reds, Rangers, Mariners, Blue Jays, Rays. The Nationals will be playing the Rockies. The Nationals will have nothing to play for by then. Indians, Royals, Cardinals, Cubs, and that's it.
Now there's a team that we have not talked about. No,
The
not
Royals?
the Royals. The freaking Indians, bro. God, like no one, no sports network is talking about them.
And they have a very good pitching staff. They made some good moves at the deadline. The problem is they're up 15 games in a division that completely sucks. I mean, they're on pace to. I think they're on pace to win 100, but it's just.
But
it's not an impressive 100 like the Red Sox.
But I
It's
mean,
not their fault.
when you go through their roster, I mean, if we were to go through their roster, I mean, they're pretty stacked.
Yeah,
they're stacked, and they have the pitching, which is what you want to have.
Yeah.
When you're in playoff mode.
But they're only on pace for 93 wins.
Only
93. Which, look, it's 93 wins is a great season, but when you got the Red Sox on pace for 115 and the Astros on pace for 100, heck, the Yankees are going to be the wild card team, and they're on pace for 100. So it's hard to, it's hard to have any real love for the Indians. But remember, the Indians got off to a very slow start, and they have come on great. And look, they're an experienced playoff team. They're not going to be an easy out for anybody, which, again, gets me back to I want to see a Final Four of Houston, Cleveland, Boston, and New York. I don't care who I don't care who has home field advantage. I don't care how they match up. I just don't care. I want to see those four go at it.
I wonder if the Indians are that good. I'm going.
Oh, they are.
You think so? I mean, totally. I'm going through their schedule here, and they played the Yankees in May, got swept.
Yeah.
They got swept.
Yeah.
They split with the Brewers.
They were not playing well when they played the Yankees.
They split with the Astros. They lost the series to the Astros.
The Astros are really damn good.
No, I know, but I'm just saying they lost 2 out of 3 to St. Louis. They lost 2 out of 3 to Oakland. So I mean, when they lost 2 out of 3 again to Oakland, damn, it kind of makes you think, huh?
Yeah, it kind of does, but I still think they're loaded. And in a series where you get days off and you shorten your starting rotation, they're going to be tough.
Well, that'll be something to look out for. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. I can't wait for the playoffs. So going from the major leagues to the little leagues.
The little leagues.
There's not much to talk about here because I don't know all the ins and outs of the little league. But I will say this.
You don't watch every game?
I watch a lot of it, but I can't remember all these kids. I mean, I can barely remember my own kids.
Shame on you.
Yeah, well, I'm damn near 50. It is so much fun to watch. It's, the kids are... Look, they make a little too much about this whole sportsmanship thing. But just in general, they're having so much fun out there. And just to watch their passion for the game at such a young age. I mean, there was a kid the other day, an umpire who was who was letting himself be framed on every pitch. So the catcher set up outside.
Right.
He set up outside such that half of his body was off the plate. Not just 1 foot. His half of his body. And the kid threw it to the throwing hand outside.
Right.
So it was obviously an outside pitch, but because it was within the frame of the catcher, he called it a strike. And the kid is batting, and he looks up at him, and he's like, strike 3.
Right.
And he was all kinds of upset walking back to the dugout because he thinks there's no way that's a strike, but he's not going to argue. But you see the passion of these kids. I love it. It's so much fun to watch.
I, for one, if it would come down to the Little League World Championship game, let's say whatever, New York versus Japan, right?
Right.
And it comes down to the last strike of the game. Bases are loaded, and you're down by a couple runs, right? Bottom of the 9th, or last
bottom of the 6th,
right? Bottom of the 6th, and the kid gets called out on strikes, and I mean it's not a strike, and he just goes off on the umpire.
No,
I want to see that.
He never would. He would start crying.
No, yeah, I know.
They would. Those kids would never argue with the umpire, but they would cry. They would feel the pain of failing more than putting the blame on the umpire. That's my thought.
I mean, if you've played Little League baseball, I mean it's fun to watch. You really appreciate them going out there and participating and showing sport. It's just fun to watch. It makes me feel like a little kid. Like when I watch my nephew play Little League.
Oh yeah.
I turn into a little kid.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree completely. And New York has a team from Staten Island, which is close to where we grew up. So I'm rooting for them. Houston has a team in it. Post Oak Little League is in the tournament, so obviously I'm rooting for them. I went to school in Michigan. I have a lot of friends from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Grosse Pointe Little League is in the World Series, so cool. I'm kind of rooting for them. Sorry, I have no connections to Idaho, Hawaii, Georgia.
Don't?
But
maybe via the show
Rhode Island.
We'll get some...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not rooting for any of those. But I will tell you this. I don't care who makes it from the U.S., I'm rooting for the U.S. against. I don't care who it is. Japan, Mexico, Panama, Australia. I don't care. I'm rooting for the American team.
I remember Danny Almonte. The big scandal. Yo, he was... I mean, now, who knows how old he really was. I think he was a little over the age. But God, man, he was pretty good. But I guess, right, it's easy to look good when you're 2 years older.
I'll tell you what. The way it works here in Texas, right, is... what they do is they take every springtime league, every league, they take their all-star team and they play in those tournaments. And this starts off with district and regionals and state and, or super regionals or whatever. And so my son has played on the all-star team 2 years in a row.
Right.
And the amount of paperwork that you have to fill out to verify that you live in the zone of this, Katy National Little League or Katy American Little League, whichever one he was in, and that he's actually 11 or 12 or whatever. Oh my God! And then you got to go to the regional office and sit there with the stack of birth certificates, and they don't take copies actual birth certificates. Just to play in the regional tournament. And it's oh my God, it's just
fingerprints.
I'm surprised they don't make them take pictures
mouth swab.
Yeah, 23andMe results, please. I mean, it's just ridiculous, but
yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
I love it, and shout out to all those little kids. I hope they all do well. Speaking of shout outs, let's wrap this puppy up because I know you got things to do.
I do, man. I've been busy today.
Fresh back in town.
I went to the gym after I got back. After waking up at 2:30 in the morning.
Hats off to you, bro.
Now we're recording. Now I gotta go sit in this heat. This Houston heat. Daughter's got a little
just outside of Houston.
Just outside of Houston. I did say. Didn't I say Texas? What did I say?
No, you said Houston. But we're just outside of Houston.
Outside. Katy.
No, it's in Richmond.
For
practice.
Which is
just
right
outside.
Beside Katy.
Yeah, and just outside of Houston.
Man, my shout out this week goes to Chicago, Illinois, man. It was a great city. We had a great time. The people there were friendly. Great city. We went up to the what's called the Willis Tower now. I guess it used to be called the Sears Tower. Tallest building. It was pretty cool, man. The food was great. Weather was awesome. I enjoyed Chicago, and we were greeted by great people, and I would definitely go back there and visit. So
Cool.
Shout outs to Chicago, Illinois.
Did you go all the way up to the top of the tower?
All the way to the top. They got
Did
this.
you get scared?
Terrified. They got this, dude. They got this little glass that sticks out, and so it's glass, and you get to step on it, and it's pretty freaky.
How far out does it go?
I don't know, 3 feet.
That's far enough.
Yeah, bro. It was pretty cool though. Pretty cool.
I don't think I would do that. I think that would scare me.
I'm not scared of heights. Like I'll get on.
I'm not scared of heights either. I'm scared of falling from heights.
Nah, you won't fall. It's a pretty thick glass.
How do you know? Did you measure it?
I jumped and I didn't fall.
You did?
No.
I would never, man.
I wanted to, but my wife was there, and like I don't think she. My mother-in-law was on there.
Hell no, I would not jump. I don't even think I would step out there, bro.
It was pretty cool.
Speaking of which, would you ever jump out of a plane?
No.
Skydive?
I would not. No.
I don't think I
guess I am scared of heights then.
I like the idea of jumping out of a plane sounds totally cool to me, and I would love to do it. I just think
parachute or no parachute?
With a parachute. I just think that in that split second when you have to jump. Now I know that if I went through the class and stuff, they'd push you, right? You would go, but I think I would soil myself at that moment where it was time to jump. I don't think they would have to push me. I don't think I could physically jump out.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even. No. Call me chicken shit.
Chicken shit.
Thank you. Proud of it.
I don't really have a shout out. No, I take it back. I do have a shout out. My shout out goes to Sister Mary Jo. In the year of the nun,
this is great.
The nun from Loyola Chicago, Loyola Chicago during the NCAA tournament. You ain't got nothing on Sister Mary Jo, who fired in I mean, was that a curveball or what?
At
the White Sox game yesterday.
A curveball at the knees. I mean, I would have swung. I would have took that crooked K.
I was watching and I buckled.
That's crazy.
I buckled. Sister Jo, hats off to you. Shout out to you from the Positive Sports Podcast. That was awesome. I'm proud that you did it. That was very, very cool.
That was.
And with that, we've come to the conclusion of another episode. Episode 32. Most famous 32.
32. Ooh,
that you can think of.
This
is easy.
Which one? Go.
Dude, Magic Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Magic Johnson.
I could go old school. Steve Carlton. One of the best left-handed pitchers ever.
Man, I don't have a 32.
Are you serious?
Shaq?
That's a good 32.
Although then he switched to 34.
Now he's more like a 52, though.
You heard that, Shaq? He said it, not me.
That's all right. We're outside of Houston. He ain't going to come out here.
He ain't that fast.
Hey, give us your thoughts on the most famous 32 you know. You can email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us individually. You can reach my brother at...
Don't be a leader, be a follower on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
And you can reach me on Twitter as well at eMontana21. And with that, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. There is an NFL preview show coming your way.
Yes.
It's just got to come a little closer to the end of the season once we hear about all the injuries and figure some stuff out, right? With that, folks, hey, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Go out, have fun with your family and friends. And as always, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.